I have a PhD in biochemistry and biophysics, and I've been doing research in that for many years. But of late, I'm connecting science and spirituality. A good friend of mine, Nancy Weaver, I've known her for a few years now. She invited me to a seminar with Paul, and what I really liked was that connection with science. And that's how I was first introduced to the quantum wave laser, and I had a wonderful experience. The first seminar I heard and used the laser. Well, I was working on the different unwind points and doing the unwinding. And when I worked on the vagus nerve, I found an amazing release. It was a release of a kind that allowed my whole body to go into what I would call a complete peaceful state, an inner peace, a complete peace. And it was a meditative state, a still point. And what was amazing is that whole weekend and for a few days after that seminar, which was just a day seminar, I could go into Stillpoint, into that meditative state very easily, without a laser, without anything, just that experience of releasing and going into that inner peace was just amazing. And I subsequently bought the laser and I've been using it. And I can say that I've meditated for a long time. I've worked with combining science and spirituality for a long time now. Somehow after the laser, there is that being able to touch that inner peace. When I need to go into that space in a way I could not do before. And it's just been wonderful.
My friend and sponsor now, Tammy Donnelly, she is very generous, and she would go to the gym near my house, and then she would leave the laser at my house while she was working out, and I would just work on myself and all my pets, and then she'd pick it up an hour and a half later unless she forgot, and then I got to keep it overnight. And anyway, I used that like that for maybe a month or maybe 6 weeks, and then I had to have one. Well, I wanted one the whole time, but finally I made it happen. I just cut a U-turn too tight. There was glare, and I grounded on a rock, on a boulder. And an immense amount of shock. And I'm sure it's both emotional shock and physical shock. And, it was a borrowed car, a really expensive car that I borrowed from my tenant and friend. And anyway, I was really blown away. I had my laser with me because I was going to give somebody else a laser treatment who had had a car accident, a much worse car accident. And so anyway, I had to perform right away. You know how it is. You have to call the police. You have to call the tow truck. You have to get out, show your card, your AAA card, your credit card, your license, your registration. And, you're in shock. You're shaking. And so I had to wait by the side of the road for the tow truck. So I went and I unwound on the side of the road. Well, it was a grassy little knoll. Calm and serenity around the scene of the accident. And then they took the car away. And I went home. And the difference is that I would usually really beat myself up for, what a ridiculous mistake. How could you? And I just didn't even get into it. I just knew that I needed to go home, be quiet, close the blinds, and unwind for the rest of the day, on and off, and just give myself some peace, and that everything would resolve. Cars can be repaired. And I've just never experienced having this sort of dilemma and this sort of problem before with so much serenity, peace. And also my body had... It tightened up in my neck and in various places around my body and my sacrum. And it probably took 3 days, but I've had car accidents before where it took 6 weeks and it took 3 days. And plus, I'm not reflecting on the accident. I'm not thinking about it. It's a good thing to carry it with you wherever you go because you never know when you're going to need it or somebody else is going to need it.
We have a friend that bought one, and he shared it with my boyfriend who had some pretty serious knee issues, and he called me one night and said, I got to go to the bathroom. I've been using this laser for a couple of hours, and I forgot that I didn't have my crutches with me. And so I wanted to call and tell you because I've been having shoulder issues. And so it just sort of got passed along that way. So I tried it next and got some immediate difference that he didn't realize till he was like halfway to the bathroom that he didn't have the crutches. So I have, first of all, my cat. I set it up for her, and she'd been vomiting every day for a long, long time, months. And so I set it up, and she adjusts her body around it the way she wants it. And she does that first thing in the morning and at the end of the day. And the vomiting went away very quickly, and she's 16, and people think she's a young cat, and she's playful. And the others with the horses. I have a horse, several horses that I've been working with, and the first one had an injury in her hip, and when she walked, that right back leg would cross over the left back leg, and the horse didn't want to be touched or anything, very stressed, and after a lot of unwinding, and she got immediate results with the walking. It wasn't perfect, but there was a difference. And after 4 or 5 visits, it's almost perfect, the walking. In the second visit, she was so relaxed. And she just, when it was all over, she came up to me and she just dropped her head down here and just did this big sigh. And her owner had never seen her do that even before the injury. Had never seen her. She had never been quite that gentle and loving, and she's been that way, not just with me and with her, but with other people as well. And that's just been a real blessing to see that change. I'm just so grateful to have this in my life and to be able to share it.